Hello, wonderful people. Welcome to yet another episode of Teens 360 with Savik. A time where we talk to teens, parents, leaders, pastors, guardians, teachers, every natural authority that God has placed above our teenagers in order to arm them with ample tools to help and guide our teenagers achieve their colorful destinies on earth. On today's episode, we are going to look at yet another important angle towards raising godly teenagers who will fulfill their destinies on earth. We'll be right back. Welcome back. On today's episode, we are going to be looking at a topic, or we're going to be centering our conversation today around teens face much more than you know. Teenagers are facing much more than you know, much more than you think. And so there's this general misconception that teenagers have nothing to bother about, nothing should worry them, or nothing worries them. After all, their parents and guardians pick up their bills with regards to paying their house rent, feeding them, taking care of their clothing, providing their basic amenities for them. And therefore, teenagers have nothing they should worry. All they should worry about should be to write exam, pass exam, and that should be their worry alone. And therefore, they do not have any headache at all. Their headaches are heaped on their parents and guardians. Is that truly true? Is that really true? Does it actually happen this way? You see, coming to that hasty conclusion that teenagers have nothing bugging them is a first step towards misunderstanding the teenage. Is a first way of missing the teens world, because teenagers of today, the Gen Z teenagers of these times, are going through much more than your mind can ever comprehend. What they go through will be much more different from what you went through. In fact, it's even much more different from what teenagers of 2000 to 2010 went through. Yeah, you were a teenager between 2000 and 2010. Believe you me, what teenagers are going through from 2015 till now will differ greatly from what you went through by then. It's a different world altogether. It's a different world. It's an AI world. It's a globalized world. Even much more than globalization. It's a congested world. It's a shrinked world. It's a digital world. It's a robotic world. It's a world where there is no longer secret. It's a world where there is no longer boundaries and bounds. It's a world where virtually everything goes. And as a result, the social fight, the moral fight, the family fight, the personal fight, the interpersonal fight, the intrapersonal fight going on within the teenager or within teens differ. They are not in any way the same. Interestingly, teenagers, you see these bills that adults pick up for teenagers. Naturally, teenagers don't see that as their problem. No teenager worries about house rent. Teenagers don't worry mostly about most of those things, their school fees, all of those, they are feeding and all those things, because there's this psychological how do I put it now? Which word better suits it? There's this natural default. Yeah, that's the word. There's this default setting in them that these are your responsibility. and not theirs. They naturally believe that these things you think worry them are naturally your responsibility. So no teenager wakes up in the night to think about house rent. It's absolutely, they will even keep awake over how to get data than how to pay house rent. It's none of their business. It's your responsibility. And that's their default mind setting. And so it doesn't bug them. Not at all. Okay. On today's episode, let's take a little look. Let's take a little journey on the basic challenges that teenagers go through that you need to know so that you'll be able to step in and help. So that when you see some reactions, you will know the actions that have prompted these reactions. So that when you see them behave in a certain way, you'll be able to know that this is the challenge leading to this particular reaction. Okay, let's look at some of the challenges that teenagers. Let me read out something for you. The understanding of life are yet being formed in the teenager from streams of available sources with varying explanations to things throws the teenager into some sort of quagmire. He or she is drawn in between what is taught at home by parents/guardians, what is taught in church by priests and teachers, and then what is taught in school by their school teachers. What is taught in social media, what is taught within their peer circle vis-a-vis what he or she is seeing and experiencing in real life. By this we mean everyday living and encounters. Generally, teenagers are thrown into psychological confusion of some sort. What am I trying to say here? Dear parents, during morning devotion, during your private time with your teenager, you try to imbibe, you try to impact your own understanding based on your own level of exposure to your teenager, to your teen child. You try to explain life to them. You try to model them how you think they should go based on your own biases, based on your own belief, be it religious belief, be it moral belief, be it family culture or family norms. You try to groom them, you try to teach them. This same teenager goes to school to meet another teacher who has a different psychological, religious and moral family upbringing too, who will start reteaching maybe what you've taught at home. This same teenager goes to the religious ground, be it church, be it mosque, be it wherever, and then begins to, there's another level of teaching from another teacher who has different psychological, religious, moral and family upbringing. And then this same teenager belongs to a peer group, belongs to an environment that is also teaching him or her completely different from, and then this same teenager is experiencing life by his or herself. Remember, we are talking about a teenager, not an adult. We are talking about a teenager, not a kid. One of the funny things I see parents do is you are telling a teenager something else and you are living this different thing. One of the episodes of this podcast, we are going to dedicate it to be real with teenagers, and I'm going to share something with you. So, but there's this psychological battle in their mind. There's this war going on in their mind. Where do we follow? What parents say at home? What pastors say in church? I used to, I won't mention names, but I used to have a pastor who used to tell us that a teens pastor assigned to groom teenagers, who used to tell us that reading law in school is a sin because that all lawyers are liars. For crying out loud, your son, your daughter, your teenager is being taught in church by such a pastor, and you are at home trying to convince your teenager that you want them to be a lawyer. I don't know if you're making a whole lot of sense out of this mental confusion that teenagers are going. It is that's why sometimes you tell them, I want you to do law, and they tell you, no, I want to do accountancy. Somebody is telling them something somewhere. Somebody is definitely telling them something somewhere, or they are seeing something somewhere. So it's a battle. They are going through that phase and war. So ignoring or being ignorant of this would make you not guide them aright. But when you have this understanding, it will help you as a parent, as a guardian, to know how to align appropriately. This is where I am modeling my teenager to. In church, school class, where do I take my child to in terms of church that would continue in this line? Which school do I take my child? So that's why most times I tell parents, it's not really about school paying costly fees or school being cheap. But look out for a school where your teenager, my interest is in the teenager, secondary school, maybe from primary 4, primary 5, primary 6 or so, or basically secondary school. Be sure that you know who is teaching your teenager. Just somehow know who they are, because it goes a long way to continue that which you started at home. Else, that which you started at home will be destroyed in school or will be destroyed in church. So have this at the back of your mind, that teenagers are going through these battles. Let me read out something for you here. Very interesting. The challenge of what to believe is one battle the teen faces daily, especially in our today's world that is filled with insincerity, where people teach one thing and practice another. Having this understanding will help you, the parent or guardian or coach, who truly wants to impact the teen positively, to carefully follow the teen with pity and compassion, and more so arm you with relevant skill sets to handle these challenges from the stance of knowledge devoid of emotion. Having this understanding that these teenagers are going through a whole lot. They are hearing something from pastor, and look at what's going on social media. There's the teaching. You are telling your teenager paying tithe is good, and there's a heavy battle on social media saying that tithe is evil, tithe is bad, tithe is not biblical. You, as an adult, you have a matured mind. You have a will of your own. The teenager does not. His mind, his will is still being molded by everything. Molded at home, molded in church, molded in school, molded on the social media, molded on the streets, molded by people they call mentors, molded by people who are influencers, molded by people who are influencers. So having this understanding will help you be intentional and conscious about helping the teenager navigate through this very tough season of their lives. Now, the second challenge we are going to look at is the teenager faces financial challenges. What for? What financial challenge does the teenager have? In fact, up to them making their hair, you foot the bill. But you see, maybe during your own teen days, you had no financial challenge. Maybe during your own teen days, you had no need for data. I'm sure you know that the cost of data have tripled. So the teenager faces that heinous challenge of their own finance. See, they want to have their own finance. Do I say outside of you? The teen wants to have their own finance outside. They want to be able to do the things they want to do by themselves, on themselves, when they want to do it. Exactly, you heard me. The teenager wants to have their own finance, to be able to do what they want to do, how they want to do it, when they want to do it. So it becomes a challenge. It becomes sometimes a problem. That's what leads to sometimes, if not well groomed, you keep money and it is missing. You begin to ask yourself, what does he or she need this money for? Since what do I not provide for them? What do I not give them? You certainly cannot give them everything. So if it is available on your own, making available opportunities, like they run errands and there's 200 naira, 500 naira change, 100 naira change, let them keep it. One, it's going to provide you with an opportunity to groom them on finance management. So that from time to time you can ask them, can you come and tell me what you did with the 500 naira I gave you yesterday? It's a conscious and deliberate move to help groom them. It's a very conscious and deliberate move to help groom and nurture them. I have one in my house. So most times I allow them keep money, not because I am not footing their bills, but because it is an avenue for you to help them. And then it also sometimes just owning that money gives them joy. Even if they have nothing to do with it, just having that money gives them joy. But this too, if not well handled, can lead to various other vices, various how do I put it, fracture in growth. If not well handled, the teen can be derailed. The focus can now be on money instead of growth, and so on and so forth. But just have this in your mind. Just have this in your subconsciousness that every teenager wants to have money of their own. They want to have money of their own. They want to buy airtime when they want to. They want to buy data when they want to. They want to do one or two things for themselves when they can. You know, the joy of a teenager buying slippers for themselves. You know, especially the guys, cutting their hair when they want. You know, being able to foot that bill makes them feel that they are beginning to grow. So teenagers also face this challenge. You know, every teenager is talented, and believe you me, there's no talent that will thrive in today without investment in them. And some of these talents that these teenagers have, you as a parent, you don't even understand it. You don't even know you have so many things encompassing you. You know, there are so many things you have that you need to do with money, that you may even neglect investing in their talent and their gifting. So most times they want. I've seen where teenagers pay 5,000 naira to attend movie auditions. As a filmmaker myself, I've seen where teenagers pay as much as 10,000 to be part of a movie. The parents are not aware. I'm very certain that it wasn't the parents that gave them the 10,000 to come and pay to be part of a movie, because they believe that they are gifted in acting. Which parent will give their teenager 10,000 to go and pay to be part of a movie? Why the parents believe that if he or she is part of the movie, they should be paid? You know, that understanding that there's a level of investment you put in your own talent to be able to come out to limelight and people will begin to see you. Which parent would give a teenager money to go and boost their social media page to be heard and to be seen? Unless you have this understanding that it is a need that needs to be done. And that's part of what Teens 360 is about, to open your eyes to these things, that your teenager too has a gifting and a talent and needs to be invested upon. Yeah, you are sending them to school. That's one investment you are doing, but there is more to be done. There is more to be done. It is possible that the schooling he or she is attending to has no direct impact on their gifting and their talent. It is very, very possible. It could have an indirect. For instance, if as an artist, as a teenager that is a gifted artist, very well in drawing, now sending them to school is one thing, buying drawing board for them at home is another investment. They are wonderful with singing. Sending them to school is beautiful, but getting them singing gadgets is another thing altogether. I don't know if you're getting the point I'm trying to make here now. So while you one of the reasons why they want to have their own money is that they want to also invest in these giftings and talents that they possess. Another great pressure that these teenagers face is the peer pressure. Peer pressure. See, one of the toughest things that teenagers face is ability to face their friends. It's a very tough challenge, especially when they come from an average or poor background. If not well handled, leads to unnecessary vices. When teenagers begin to feel that they are less than their colleagues in school, they feel they are less than others. Most times it leads to depression. It leads to outbursts. It leads to reaction. It leads to them feeling less. It leads to low self-esteem. It leads to timidity. So they are facing that pressure. Now, if you have this understanding as their parent, teacher, guardian, leader, it will help you begin to help them walk out of it. Help them understand that life, just as our finger, is in height and people exist at their level. And not also make them too comfortable in mediocrity or in poverty. Do your best. Your parents have gotten up to this point. It is now left for you to now step on here and begin to move. Most times when I talk to teenagers, I tell them, if your parents were able to bring you, okay, most times when I'm guest to talk to teenagers, I used to tell them that if your parents are able to groom you to a point where you are able to attend this seminar, to attend this conference, to attend this retreat, this camp, this program, then congratulations, your parents have trained you to the best of their ability. Right? They have provided you a springboard. It is now left for you to step on it and jump. Because there are teenagers who were groomed that they are at the motor park. Some of them are begging. But you have been so groomed that you are able to sit down and listen. Then they have done something for you. Just somehow. Even if they've not done all you would have wanted them to do for you, they've done something for you. So there's this pressure around teenagers to be like, there's an Igbo parlance that says, it is most prevalent in teens' life. It's most prevalent at that level because you want to be like others. As an adult, those things doesn't matter for you. You know your income. You live within your means. But as a teenager, most times you don't even know the income of your parents. Most teenagers don't even know the salary of their parents. So they don't even know the income. What they know is that food is made available. The house is paid for. There's lights, there's water, there's everything. They don't know. It may not be necessary for them to know. But just know that there's this pressure on them. So what you do with them during your private time with them will help them either go down deeper in depression, feeling bad, or help them ease it off. How you talk to them, how you relate with them, how you handle them, how you handle their outburst, how you handle their reaction. Your teenager is feeling bad. Others have, I don't have. Are you patient enough to show them those who do not have what they have. Life is in sizes. Life is in phases. Most times, being harsh and brash on them is not necessarily the solution to it. You're not talking to a kid, you're talking to a teenager who you will finish beating now. They will go outside and their peers will tell them that being beaten is a mark of growing. Yeah, I know of a teenager whose friends told that if they are not beating you at home, then you are not an adult. You have not grown. So she, because it's a lady, she will always do something and they will beat her, and she feels good about it. She feels I'm growing because if I can do something and they beat me, it means I'm being seen, I'm growing, I'm being recognized. Terrible, right? But that's the kind of peer environment that most of our teenagers find themselves. So having this understanding and knowledge will help you guide and guard them out of it. There's also an academic pressure on the teens. You see, their parents and guardians. Let me make you understand this. No teenager is happy taking last position in class. No. So most times, when they don't do so well academically, when they come home, please don't add to the pressure. Am I saying you should welcome their failure? Am I saying you should clap for them and give them trophy over their failure? No, not at all. But help them. There's a role you will play in their academic failure that will help them come up. It is also possible that that teenager is not an academic person, but a skilled person, but a talented person. You know, there are teenagers who are not so wonderful in reading and writing, but if they handle musical instruments, it will be like match made in heaven. Some of them, when you give them the football, you will feel you are seeing Ronaldo or Lionel Messi. Some of them, other skills. So how you are able to help them come to the reality of themselves will help them a great deal, so that they will not begin to think that as I no do well for school, I'm good for nothing. No, they are going through that challenge. Please help them. Don't mock them. Don't mock them. Yeah, present challenges for them, but don't mock them. Help them. At this point, they need help. They need help. See, if they are not able to come out of it within the teen period when they are living in your house, when they go to the university, they'll be worse off for it. So please find time and help them. Find time and don't be too busy to help them, because it's a challenge that they are facing. And part of why God has committed them into your hand is to help them. If you are not able to help them, you are a failure too as an adult. You are a failure too as a parent, as a guardian, as a teacher, as a teen pastor, as a teens leader. You are not able to help them out of some of these challenges. You are a failure. It's not a compulsory thing that you start teaching them 1 + 1 2. But you can get a teacher for them. And finally, for today, teenagers are also facing the environmental problem. They are facing environmental challenges. Parents find it difficult to accept this truth. The environment where you groom a teenager matters a lot. The street where you are living, that quarters where you are living, the estate where you live, the environment where you live will matter so much to the upbringing of the teenager. Thank you for being a part of today's episode of Teens 360 with Savik. Look forward to seeing you next week on this platform. Please feel free to share this broadcast to teens, parents, leaders, guardians, and pastors, so we can together help our teenagers achieve their colorful destinies on earth. Until I see you again next week, please keep doing your best. Keep putting in great effort. Keep being intentional about raising our teenagers. God bless you.